Thanks a million. So I've kind of actually assumed, because you're designers, I've kind of assumed that most people do know what Sugru is, and that probably a good few of you are probably users already. So the guys asked me just to kind of talk about my kind of take on technology, like the rest of them. And for me, I find the most useful way of looking at technology for me is to look at it as tools. And as designers, I think the reason that's useful is because it moves you from thinking about the thing that you're designing to the thing that's going to happen because you designed it. So you'll see what that is all about Sugru, but if we take an example of some technologies, like, for example, I thought about polyester and what happened because polyester was invented. Well, somebody invented that, and then somebody else invented the polyester shirt, and the world got a little bit more sweaty. Somebody invented Twitter, and what happened? The world got a bit more connected. And after that, the right people started using it, and the world got a bit more witty. And I think that's just a useful way of thinking, because it's not about, when we design things, it's not about the technology, it's about what it enables. What new behaviors does it enable? What new cultures do we want to see in the future? When you design your thing, you want the world to be a bit more this or a bit more that. So Sugru is the Irish word for play. And it started as an idea when I was studying product design at the Royal College of Art 10 years ago. So it's a long time. It basically, as we heard, it starts like Play-Doh, sticks to almost anything, and turns into rubber overnight just by being in the air. So it enables people to fix things when they couldn't fix things before. It enables people to redesign things, imagine better ways that things could work. As I said, it started when I was a student, and the idea really was about, well, it's not really enough for me to be a designer. How much impact can I have if it's just me? What about if it was everybody? What about if there was a way to activate that little piece in people's brain that they think, they've been told for years and years through school and everything else, you're not creative, he's the creative one, not you. And we actually all have the ability to solve problems. And so I ended up coming up with this concept. We all play with Play-Doh when we're kids. What could be easier than that? And what if everyone could be a designer and improve things? Spent about 5 years developing the material because I knew it needed to be, it needed to really have properties that nothing else could have, so that it would stick to almost anything and have all these nice tactile qualities. But one early lesson that I learned was that the technology and the material would only be a very small piece of what would enable this culture to happen, to flourish. And the rest of it would be all the communications and design decisions around that, I guess, science. And that is about everything. So everything else apart from the material. So that's about the fonts you choose, the tone of voice, the photography, the projects you choose to champion or not. And if you have a look on our website or social media, you'll be able to see that it's actually all about championing a way of life and a way of seeing the world that is basically a little bit more empowered and a little bit more playful. So we've been out for about 5 years and growing. Sugru's in over 1 million homes around the world now. We've gone from selling on our own website to selling nationwide in B&Q and Maplin and Wilko, lots of retailers. I remember standing 10 years ago in front of my tutors and going, "This is going to be in Tesco!" It's like, okay, you're weird. But it's getting there, and we're launching right across the US at the moment through Lowe's Home Improvement and Target, which is one of our sort of like dream. Imagine if it could be in Target someday. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about the community and give you a feel of what the Sugru culture is through some stories from the community. And in terms of thinking about, you know, I want the world to be a bit more X, Y, Z, whatever. I want the world to be a bit more, I can do it. I see a solution. I can do it. Yes, I can. This is Joanne. She's from Canada, and she's a really good canoeist. And she always wanted to do this really big, long marathon canoeing race, like 700 kilometers up the Yukon River. But the only problem was that to be able to do that, she has no fingers on her left hand, and to canoe for that long, she'd need to be able to canoe with the paddle on both sides, if you know what I mean. So for short distances, she could just use one side. And a friend, so she was like, I want to do this race. And a friend helped her basically just put a screw into the paddle and like pad it out with some Sugru so that she could get a grip on the paddle. She sent us these pictures after she had completed the full race in 3 days and 3 nights with no sleep. And that's her and her team having finished the race. And, you know, if somebody sends you an email like that and you've seen this like fucking like awful looking little piece of crap that you've like made and somebody's molded on a thing, and you just go, the connection between, wow, this is, you know, she's saying, this is one of the best things I've done in my life, and I couldn't have done it without Sugru. And you cannot imagine how amazing that feels. And, you know, we've stayed in touch, and I've since met up with her for lunch and stuff, and it's just like, what? This is unbelievable. Honestly, that little piece of crap, you know. And it doesn't have to be this epic. This is pretty epic. There's like little things, right? So this is a guy who, you know, he's like, you know, they're uploading these pictures onto Facebook all the time. So this is a guy, and he's made this for his granny, and he's like, you know, before I used to have to hold the glass for her because the straw, it's light, it always keeps popping up. And he used to have to hold the glass for her. Now he can sit there and she can drink her own drink without her grandson having to hold the glass for her. That's another one. Yeah, somebody made for their brother-in-law. He's disabled and visually impaired and lives in a home. A huge thing for him is these audiobooks. And so this is what he does for his brother-in-law. He gives him audiobooks and brings new audiobooks, whatever. But he likes to listen to several of them at once. And the USB keys, he can't tell the difference between what they are. So he's used a little bit of Sugru to just kind of texture the thing so the guy can go, yeah, this is this book or that's that book. This is user Belinda put these up recently. It's like her husband, yeah, visually impaired, can't use the microwave. And she's just designed a braille thing on the microwave. And it's just like, for me, that's just, it's amazing. It's about, honestly, like I said, it's a piece of crap. It's just a little dumb, rubbery material, but it sticks to things. And we've helped people to, through the communications and through the brand, we've helped people to access that part of their brain where they're thinking laterally, and they're thinking, I can do it. Sometimes, I want to show this one because we make little videos and things to help kind of reinforce this whole kind of way of living. This one happened, again, disability story, but happened, and we made a film about it because you can see in it, like, sometimes you don't get it on the first go, and something with Sugru is about, it's just jump in and try it, and if it doesn't work the first time, you'll try again. So, spacebar. Whoa!
Hello, James. This is Farida, and this is the problem.
Okay, so this is Farida's joystick that Emer tried to fix before, but it didn't work.
Is it better than the black one?
Which would you prefer?
Don't touch it! Okay.
Thank you for coming to help me. I love the color yellow in the blim. See you Wednesday, James.
And Wednesday you're going to have to fix it.
Hopefully this one works. Touch wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, that video, well, first of all, it has that whole thing of like helping people see, like, just give it a go. It might not work out the first time, but just keep going. But it also told a story of, I think, something that we saw in it was, geez, like that was so easy to solve. Like she had no one in her life that could solve that problem. You know, her carer, her teachers, her parents, they didn't know how. And so she couldn't move. And we were sitting like, you know, a mile and a half up the road. The school was down in Whitechapel. We were up in London Fields. And it was only when we spotted the postcode that we were like, well, there's no point in giving advice over the internet. We might as well just go down. And James, my husband, co-founder, who's in that film, it basically sparked a whole kind of train of thought and conversation that basically, you know, there's all these latent skills and, you know, all the Sugru community, all these design students, designers, we actually, like, it's so easy for us to just go down to the 4D model shop and get a bit of thing and chop it up and put it into the wheelchair and there's the problem solved. She can move around and be independent. It costs, whatever, 3 or 4 quid and 2 or 3 hours of time. So that, and I think just the overarching thought here is about like the idea of enabling, like what you design and what you make, whether it's like the, you know, the films that we make around Sugru or whatever, all enable new conversations and new ways of looking at things that then enable other things. So out of that film with Farida, what happened next was we started this conversation with Daniel Charney and Fixperts happened. So I don't know if you guys know Fixperts, but it's fixperts.org. And it's basically promoting exactly what we did there with Farida. It's connecting designers and design students with people in their own community who have needs that are so stupidly simple to solve. Sometimes it's like the fridge is too low down and I can't see what's in there because I've got arthritis. Oh, you can put a wooden block underneath it. So this is one of my favorite Fixperts films. 2 Kingston students that...
I first met Elena in the V&A shop when she asked me to pass her a book as she couldn't read the title. We've kept in contact ever since, and when the Fixperts project came up, we thought she'd be the perfect fixed partner.
I've been partially sighted now for about 10 years. And it's sort of been getting worse, and some things I've been able to cope with. But there's some things which I used to do quite a lot before, which were impossible. And sewing, even small repairs.
Yeah.
Because I can't thread a needle.
No.
And I've tried doing it on a magnifier, but it's impossible.
Even with that, you can't see the eye?
I can't see, I just can't get sort of, it's too fine, which is a pity.
Is it knowing where the eye is in relation to your hand, or is that hard finding the eye of the needle, or is it just more with the thread, getting the thread in?
Well, it's getting the thread in.
Yeah. So we work with the idea of, rather than using thread to thread through, you get this metal hook needle here, and this will be the bit you push through, and it's far easier to do it because it's rigid. You can keep pushing again and again, it stays in place, and it always maintains its position. But what we've done with this is provided, a big stable base so she can work on a table with two hands, and it's easy to hold as well, and it's something that she can, really hold on to.
We've done it in a way that we've got white for dark threads, and then we've got black for bright or white, so all colours will be visible.
Yeah, we've also made the hooks colourful and contrast against the background colour so that she can always see it and she can really pick it out against the product.
The product works really easily with 3 motions. First, you slot on the needle into the groove, then you hook over the thread, and with 1 pull, the needle is threaded.
Can I wrap it?
Yeah, I'll wrap it. Whenever you're ready, Elaine.
Okay. Oh,
Nice. Here's the thread.
is it in the right position? Do I have
Yes,
to sort of...
you can let go, that's fine.
Mhm.
It will sit into the groove. And then... Lovely. Don't hold both sides. Just you just stay holding the one you're holding, and you just go let go of the right, and then you just grab the needle top and pull.
Up.
Yeah, you got it.
Got it.
Yay!
Yeah.
Cool, isn't it? So I think there's almost 200 films on Fixperts.org now, and it's run across lots of different universities here in the UK and around the world, and lots of individuals as well. There's lots of inspiring films on there. But I guess the point is that, there's designing for impact on that one person, and that's what Fixperts is awesome at. It's all about like one client, one designer, and solving that problem. But the bigger thing is making the films, and that helps to design for a bigger impact so that more designers get involved and want to do the same thing in their community. So that's the point. I've gone way over 10 minutes, but it's just that little shift in thinking that it's not about designing the thing, it's about designing the outcome that will happen as a result of that thing existing. So that's me. I just want to say 2 things before I finish is we're always creating films and stuff like this, so if you're a freelancer or design student, come and talk to me because we always need new people. And I've got some Sugru. So if people want it, I'm going to throw it out into the audience. So you've got to be good.